Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to yet another episode of The Reclamation, a sacred space for healing, remembrance, and rising. Today's episode is all about the gift beneath the wound, rising from heartache and betrayal, something that all of us have experienced somewhere in our life. I'm your host, Paula, Magdalene Sound Priestess and Spirituality Mentor. And in today's episode, the one that lives in so many of our hearts, we're going to talk about how to heal from the deep heartache and betrayal that we may have experienced. How to reclaim our strength, our softness, and our sacred power in the aftermath of the heartache and the betrayal. If you are tuning in right now, if you are here, chances are your heart has been shattered in some way by a partner, a friend, a sibling, a parent. You may still be in that ache. Or maybe you're on that edge of healing. And here's what I want you to know. You are not broken. And you are not alone. I see you. I hear you. I feel you. I've been where you are. And I understand it. Heartache and betrayal are sacred initiations. They're painful. Oh, gosh, yes. They are so painful. But they're also portals into a deeper truth, in deeper to understanding love and our sovereignty. I want to start this off by being really vulnerable with you about how heartache and heartbreak and betrayal have been a part of my journey. I can remember my very first heartbreak, and I think most of us can. I was in my first romantic relationship. I was young and I was in love with the idea of love. And I met a boy. And I thought it was great that somebody noticed me because I was quiet, believe it or not. I was shy. I didn't trust myself. I still had all those wounds from being bullied. But he saw me. And in the beginning, it feels so good, doesn't it, when they see you? They take you out on dates, they buy you flowers, they buy you gifts, they take you to dinner, they take you for walks in the park. Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? It is amazing to walk in that. But then, somewhere along the line, what might happen is the betrayal. And that happened to me. See, I made the mistake of introducing my new boyfriend to all of my friends because why wouldn't you? Because you're going to hang out together. You're going to do things together. Well, one of my friends noticed him, and she was my best friend at the time. And they started chatting by landline phone. That's how long ago this was. And they started to have feelings for one another. But I didn't know any of this because they were both really good at lying to my face. Oh, and so the one day I had asked my boyfriend if he wanted to go to this dance club with me. I used to love to go out dancing. And he wasn't a fan of it, but I asked him if he wanted to go, and he said he wasn't feeling well. So I said to him, would you like me to bring you something over? And he goes, no, I don't want to get you sick. Just go out with friends and have fun. I said, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Because we didn't have cell phones, so it's not like I could text him from the dance club. And I called all of my friends, and I had to call each one of them individually at that point. You know, there was no such thing as the group text. And my bestie had said that she couldn't make it, that she had to do something with her family. And I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. So the rest of us got together, we went to the dance club, and we were having a great time. A great time. And I never told my ex or my bestie where we were going to dance. They both probably thought we were going to the normal places that I like to go. Like there was this one place, it was called the Dixie Electric Company. And you could, when you walked in, you could either walk down the steps or slide down a slide to get in. Talk about a good time to get into a dance club, right? But we decided to go to a different place. We went to the Agora. We were having a great night. And, you know, a slow song comes on. I got nobody to dance with, so I'm just kind of sitting back. And I notice off across the dance floor by this one pillar, I see this couple that looks a little familiar to me. You guessed it. It was my boyfriend and my best friend on the dance floor at a dance club, slow dancing, holding each other close and tight, stealing a few kisses here and there. My heart shattered. It's my best friend. I mean, that breaks the girlfriend code, doesn't it? My best friend. And my boyfriend, who I thought loved me. So I got up. I walked across the floor. I don't remember who I tapped, but I tapped one of them and they stopped and they looked at me. And both their faces fell. You know, that look like, oh crap, we've been caught. Yeah, that happened. And I walked off the dance floor and I was angry. I was so angry. I was embarrassed. I was felt the betrayal so deep. I left. I went home and I cried and I cried and I cried. And those wounds stayed with me for a long time. And it's part of, I think, the reason that I hadn't had a best girlfriend for a long time. Because that, coupled with previous experiences with girls as friends, as peers, soured me to the possibility of ever having a best girlfriend. Oh, and for a long time, I wanted to plot revenge and see how I could go out on dates and hurt every guy that there was. That's how I felt. My heart was ripped out. After that, trust was something that I realized could be shattered in an instant. Just like that. Snap of the fingers, blink of an eye. I realized that maybe I wasn't worthy, or that was the thought. I didn't realize it. Another worthlessness thought about me. Another, don't get too intimate with your information and the way you bond with people. Keep it to yourself. Never profess undying love to somebody. Never profess that you are my bestie, right? Don't say it, because people will screw you over. I shut off my feelings. I mean, they were kind of shut off anyways from the bullying incident in junior high, but I even closed off even more. And I really didn't open myself up to it. If I did get asked out on a date, I went out, but I never allowed myself to create intimacy with somebody else. I never allowed myself to be vulnerable with another woman or another man, because I didn't feel like I could trust anybody. And that kind of isolates you, doesn't it? It puts you in a place where when you cannot let anybody in and you cannot share the intimacy of your feelings with somebody else, you become numb. You become disconnected. You shut down. You go through the motions. You laugh when you want to cry. You smile when you want to frown. You might even go out and get loud when you would rather be just curled up in a ball on the floor. You become a shell of who you used to be. You go out and you try to have fun, but then you come home and you remember, and you allow yourself to remember all the time. And it was hard. And I think that even after I was married, I was still holding on to that betrayal. I mean, when I was dating my husband, I was just waiting for him to betray me because I was expecting it to happen. And I was so secretive of who I was dating. Only my parents really knew or met him, because I didn't trust that any other female wouldn't try to come in and do that again. So I wasn't fully living. And I wasn't healed. I was holding on to that for far too long. And then I believe I was on a retreat. And it was a Catholic retreat at the time, because I was Catholic. But it doesn't matter like what spiritual belief or denomination was behind it. I was on this retreat. And I realized that I was still holding on to the resentfulness of that, to the powerlessness of that, to the anger of it. I was still holding on to it like it was some kind of prize. And was it a prize? I don't think so. But I was holding on to it. It was a trophy. Because I thought that if I held on to the hurt and the betrayal and the heartache from that, that it would be a constant reminder so I wouldn't end up in the same space again. But I wasn't living fully. I wasn't giving of myself fully into my relationships. And I knew I had to heal. So I got down on my knees and I asked God, I said, God, I need to let this go. What do I got to do? And the only word that came into my head was forgive. And I was like, what the hey? You want me to do what? And the voice came again. You have to forgive. You have to forgive. You have to forgive. You have to forgive. And it was there. And I sat with it. And I wrestled with it. Believe me, I wrestled with it. I felt like I was in an all-out WWE wrestling match with this word, forgiveness. But I knew that it was important. And so I wrote a letter. And I put it in an envelope. And then, because it was more fun to do it, I took scissors and I cut it up into all little pieces. And it felt really good to cut it because I didn't realize what I was doing at the time was cutting the cords to that feeling of betrayal, that feeling of heartache. I didn't realize I was cutting the energetic cords. I know that now, but I didn't realize it back then. But I cut that thing to shreds and I threw it away. And a weight dropped off of me. And you know what happened? My heart started to open again. And after that retreat, my heart opened up. When I came home from the retreat, I opened up to my husband. My heart opened up to my husband in a way that it hadn't. See, when I married my husband, I still had that little girl image of love, of the happily ever after. You know, the Romeo and Juliet story, if you will. But it wasn't a grown up idea of my heart being open and love. And after that, I realized the depth of what loving another person and allowing them into your life and trusting them was about. And every day from then on, it's gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. And so what was a not so good experience, my first big heartbreak, turned into something that became beautiful and showed me the importance of forgiveness and healing. There was a time I didn't think I would recover. I didn't think that I would get past it. But what I found in the ashes of that betrayal was me. I found my truth, I found my power, and I found my heart whole and holy. And that is a gift. That is a gift, a huge gift. So even though it was ugly and hard and it hurt, I found me. And maybe you are holding on to betrayal. Maybe you are holding on to heartache. But I want you to know from deep inside my heart to your heart that you can heal. You don't want to just survive, you want to thrive. You want to be able to trust people. You want to be able to trust your worth. You want to be able to trust your voice. And you can do that if you choose to heal, to let go of the resentment, to let go of the betrayal, to let go of the powerlessness, to let go of the hurt, to let go of the heartbreak and the heartache from it. Cut those energetic cords and send them the frick back to the people who attach them to you. Because when you do that, you change and you heal. See, Spirit doesn't abandon us in heartbreak. Spirit walks with us through it. Every betrayal strips away illusion. And while it's painful, it makes room for radical clarity, for rebirth, and for wholeness. Let me say that again. It makes room for radical clarity, for rebirth, and for wholeness. I think about Mary Magdalene's grief. after her beloved Yeshua died. Her grief that she lost her beloved because the powers that be felt threatened by him. And she grieved. But you know what? From that grief came more clarity, rebirth, and wholeness for Magdalene. I think about the goddess Inanna, about how she had to go through the 7 bolted gates to hell to strip herself of the parts of her ego that didn't allow her to step fully into who she was meant to be. So that she could rise up and return. And the pain that she had to feel as she did that. I think about Mary of Nazareth and the heartache that she experienced watching her son die. And yet she was able to rise up after that and be whole. Heck, I think about my own mom after my dad died and the grief that she experienced, the heartbreak that she experienced. But through her process, was able to come out on the other side and feel love again and feel devotion again. I think about this rose as a symbol for both the thorns, the prickly parts that might make us bleed, to the bloom. Because it's all part of this beautiful journey that we are on. See, the version of you that is on the other side of heartbreak is more powerful, more compassionate, more aligned than ever before. You, my beloved, are not meant to carry bitterness. You are meant to bloom in truth. If you think about the people who hold on to the betrayal, the heartbreak, and the bitterness, they are not happy people. Deep down, they're not happy. And so many of that spew their unhappiness out into the world. Do not allow yourself to get caught in that trap. We know those people. We see how they live. We see what their life is like. I know I don't want to live my life that way. And I really hope that you don't either. I want you to right now stop for a moment and place both hands over your heart center. I want you to gently shut down your eyes. And I want you to repeat after me. I forgive myself for ever thinking I was not enough. I open my heart to truth, to trust, to life again. I forgive myself for ever thinking I was not enough. I open my heart to truth, to trust, and to life again. Breathe into that. Breathe into that. Feel that forgiveness for yourself inside of you. Feel your heart wanting to open up to truth, to trust, and to life. That is a gift, my friends. That is a powerful, powerful gift that you deserve, no matter what anybody tells you. No matter what anybody tells you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here in this episode with me. If this touched your heart, if you know someone who needs this message, please share it with them. It is a gift that you can give somebody else. And if you would like help in overcoming your betrayal, your heartache, your heartbreak, and you don't know how to do it, let me know. Let's talk. Don't stay where you're at. I can help you release those parts that are weighing you down and preventing you from thriving. I can help you find that, and it would truly be my greatest honor to help you with that. Heartbreak, betrayal, heartache doesn't mean you are broken. Do you know what it means? It means you are breaking open. And there's a huge difference. So much love for each and every one of you who are joining me here today. And I will see you again soon on another episode. Bye-bye for now.